in this video, we are going to learn about how do we multiply two numbers in a fastest and the quickest method. So what we are going to learn here? We are going to learn the different ways to multiply the numbers fastly and quickly. So let us see how can we do that. So here there are three different ways to multiply the numbers. The first says that multiply the numbers where the tens digit is the same and the ones digit add up to 10. Yes, what we are going to learn the first way, that is the tens digit would be the same and the ones digit would add up to 10. For example, let me take a question, say 28 times 22, where my tens digit is the same and my ones digit add up to give a 10, right? Okay, in the next type, we are going to learn how do we multiply any two-digit numbers. For example, let me say the question as 43 times 13. How are we going to multiply these two numbers very quickly and fastly? And in the third scenario or in the third type, we are going to see how do we multiply three-digit numbers. For example, let me say 322 times 123. So these are the three methods what we are going to learn today. Okay, so let us start with the first one. The first type says that let me write it as type 1. Type 1 says that we need to multiply the numbers where the tens digit would be the same. So let me say that if I take the number 28 times 22, right? If I take the number 28 times 22, you can see that I have the value at my tens place as the same and the value at my ones place gives me a sum of 10. So what I'll be doing is the values I'll be simply multiplying values at the ones place. Values at the ones place. What we are going to do? We are going to multiply the values at ones place, which is nothing but 8 times 2 gives us 16, right? So let me write the 16. Let me write the 16 here as it is. Now, if I know that the values at my tens place is the same, so what I'll be doing is I'll be multiplying 2 with the next number after 2. So what do we have the next number after 2? It would be 3, right? So I'll be multiplying 2 times 3, which is nothing but 6, and I'll simply write the 6 over here. So what would be my answer? 28 times 22 is equal to 616. So let us try to verify this. Let me do it in the traditional way to verify whether the answer what I got is right or not. So let us multiply 28 times 22. So we know that 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1, which is 5. And 8 times 2 is again 16. And 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1, which is 5. So let me add all this. It is 6, 11, and 6. So did I get the same? Yes. Yeah. So this is the way how do we multiply the two numbers where the tens digit is the same and the ones digit add up to 10. Let me show you one more example. So see, the traditional method of doing the sums would be quite easy, but here we would like to do it fast and quick way. So this is the method what we follow. Let me take one more example. Let me say if I have 37 times 33. So how do I multiply this? So if you can see here, the tens place digit is the same and the ones place digit add up to give me 10, right? So what I need to do in the first step, I will multiply both the ones place digit. So 7 times 3 would be 21. So let me just write 21 as it is. And then I have ones place, I have 3. Right, sorry, in tens place I have 3. So what I'll have to do? 3 with the multiplied with the next number. 3 multiplied with its next number, which is 4, which is nothing but 12. So it gives me 1221. Right? Now, if you want, take a pause and try to multiply and see whether the answer is right or not. Now, Let me take one more examples to be more sure about this. So let me say if I have a question like 54 times 56. 54 times 56, again 5 is the same in the tens place and 4 plus 6 gives me a 10. So let me first multiply 4 times 6, which is nothing but 24, and let me write the 24 over here, and 5 times 6. So what is the next number? It is 5 times 6. So 5 times 6 is nothing but 30. 5 times 6 gives me 30, which is nothing but 3024. I hope this point is clear with everyone. So now it's practice time. So let me just give you a few questions to practice on this. Practice questions. So here are a few practice questions. Let me say if I give you 38 times 32. This is the first question. Second question, let me say if I have 63 times 67, and let me say if I have, yes, 28 times 22. Yeah, okay. Now let us move to the next topic. So, or the next type. So what is my second type? In the second type, we are going to multiply any two-digit numbers. Any two-digit numbers. Now, let me take an example. 43 times 13. So what we are going to do in this method. So first let us solve this using the traditional method. So if I use the traditional method, 3 times 3 gives me 9, 3 times 4 is 12, 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 4 is 4, which is nothing but 9, 5, and 5, which is 559. This becomes a little tedious when we have some bigger numbers. Now let me try to use a small trick and tell you how can we find it quickly. Right, so let us see if I have 43 times 13. So first what we'll be doing is we will be multiplying the numbers in the ones place. So this is ones place and this is tens place. So at first we will be multiplying both the numbers which are in the ones place. That means I'll be multiplying this and this. 3 times 3 is nothing but 9. So in the next step, what I'll be doing is I will be doing the cross multiplication. Cross multiplication, that is 1 times 3 and 3 times 4, and add them. So 1 times 3 is 3 and 3 times 4 is 12. 3 plus 12 gives me 15. So I'll take a 5 over here and put a 1 as carry forward. Right, I'll be taking the 5, which is in my ones place. I'll be taking 5 over here and putting this 1 as a carry forward. Now 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1, which is nothing but 5. So 559. Didn't I get the same answer? Come on, now let's do this with the same one more example. Let me say if I'm having a number 83 times 48. 83 times 48. So let me solve it in the quickest way. So 8 times 3 is 24. I know it's 24. So what I'll be doing, I'll be taking 4 over here and I'll take a 2 carry forward. Right, I'll be leaving my 2 here. Now in the next step, what I'll have to do, I need to do the cross multiplication. So 4 times 3 is 12. And 8 times 8 is 64, which is nothing but 76. 76, and I also have a carry forward 2. So what I'll do, I'll add this 2 over here. So which gives me 78. Now I'll be taking this 8 here and 7 will go as my carry forward. Now 8 fours are 32. 32 plus, yes, 32 plus 7, it gives me 39. So this is my answer, 3984. Isn't it easy? Yes. So let me again solve one more last example based on the same scenario. So let me take, if I have a question, 98 times 37. Let me say if I have 98 times 37. So first step, what I'll be doing is I'll be multiplying 8 times 7, which is nothing but 8 times 7 is 56. I'll take a 6 over here and put a 5 as carry forward. Now, let us do the cross multiplication. Now, cross multiplication, I know 3 times 8 is 24 and 7 times 9 is 63. So it becomes 87 and I have a 5 as carry forward. So I'll be adding a 5 over here, which gives me 92. So I'll take a 2 over here and then 9 times 3 is 27. 27 plus 9, it gives me 36. So 3626 would be the multiplication of, or the product of, 98 times 37. Isn't it easy? Now it's practice time. Let me give you the practice questions. Practice time. So here are a few questions for you to practice. So if it is 67 times 42, what would be the answer? The next question is 53 times 28. What would be the answer? And if I have one more question, say 75 times 86, what would be your answer? So keep practicing. Now, let us go to one more last method of solving or multiplying two numbers. So here, if I can say, here we will be multiplying two three-digit numbers. So this is my third type of multiplication where we are going to multiply two three-digit numbers. Three-digit numbers. Right. So now, let me take an example. Let me say if I have a number 322 multiplied by 123. So if I do it in the traditional method, let us say I do it in the traditional method. So 2 times 3 is 6, a 6 and a 9, and it's 4, 4 and 6, and it's like 2, 2 and 3. Now let me add, I get 6, 10, 10 plus 4, 14 plus 2 is 16, 7 plus 2 is 9, and it's 39,606. So it becomes a little difficult, or it takes a little time. I don't say it's difficult, but it takes a little time. So now what if I will want to do this same thing in the form of simplest form, or let me do it in a very easy and a quick way. So let me say, let me just write the number a little apart. Let me just write the numbers a little apart. Now, if I want to multiply this number, I will be following the same rule as I have done for two-digit numbers, but there is a slight difference. So let us first multiply these two digits, the ones which are in the ones place. So 3 times 2 gives me 6. So in the second step, so let me just put this arrow mark over here. Okay, the first step what we followed was the arrow mark. So what I'll be doing now is I will just remove this arrow mark from here. In the second step, what I'll do is I will cross multiply these two numbers. So as we have done with the two-digit numbers. So we know 2 times 2 is 4 and 2 times 3 is 6, which is nothing but it gives me a 10. So I'll put a 10 over here, 0 over here, and a carry forward 1. In the next step, what I'll do, so let me again take this cross mark over here. So this is my second point what I have done, that is the cross mark. And let me erase this part now. Now, in the next step, what I'll be doing is I will be multiplying again in a very big cross manner. That means the first number, the last number with the first number, and the first number with the last number, and the second number. So in a form of a star, I'll be multiplying this 3. So now what do I have? So let me say 3 times 3 is 9, 2 times 2 is 4, and 1 times 2 is 2. So 9 plus 4 is 13, plus 2 is 15, and I have a carry forward over here, which is a 1. So it becomes 16. So I'll take a 6 over here, and also I'll take a 1 as carry forward. Now in the next step, what I'll do here is, see, this mark is something like this. 1, 2, and 3. Right? So this is something like this. So in the next part, what I'll be doing is, let me just erase this part so that it becomes more clear for you. In the next part, what I'll be doing is, I'll be multiplying these two digits. I'll be multiplying these two digits. So 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8, and I have a 1 as carry forward. I'll be writing this 1, and it becomes a 9. And in the end, so what was my fourth part? The fourth part of this was, I have again multiplied in a crossway manner. Right? I've again multiplied in a crossway manner. Now the last part is again multiplying 3 and 1, which gives me 3. That is 39,606. And the last one is in this way. So what can you see over here? So we are repeating the process. That means first multiplying the ones place and then lastly multiplying the hundreds place. And in between, we are doing through cross multiplications, and one is the mix or the multiple cross multiplication of the all the numbers. Did you get it? Yeah, it may find a little trickier when you are not in the practice. You may feel that direct multiplication would be more easier, but this method will be very much easier with practice. So let me give you one more question. Let us do one more question based on the same concept. So if I say, if I have a number 423, let me say if I have a number 371 times 433. 433. So what are the rules that I have to follow? First, I'll multiply these two numbers. Then I'll do the cross multiplication. Then I'll do the star multiplication. Again the cross and then the numbers. Right? So come on, let me just start with it. So 1 times 3 is 3. Then when I do the cross multiplication, 3 plus 21 gives you 24. So I'll take a 4 over here and 2 would be the carry forward. The next again, then I'll be taking all these 3. That is 3 times 3 gives me 9. 4 times 1 is 4 and 7 times 3 is 21, which is nothing but 35. And I have a 2 carry forward. Let me add this 2. It becomes 37. So I write a 7 over here and 3 would be my next carry forward. In the next step, I'll be adding 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 12, it gives me 40. 40 plus 3 is 43. So what I'll be taking? I'll be taking a 3 over here and I'll be taking a 4 as carry forward. So and then in the next step, yes, what I'll be doing in the next step? I'll be taking 3 times 4, which is 12. 12 plus 4 is, yes, 12 plus 4 is 16. Yes, so this would be my answer. Yes, shall we check it once again? 1 times 3 is 3, 3 times 7 is 21, and 1 times 3 is 3, which becomes 24. So I take a 4 over here and 2 as a carry forward. And in the next step, what I'll do, 1 times 4 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 7 is 21, which gives me 10 plus 4 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 3, 34. 34 plus 2, which gives me 36. Sorry, it would be 36 over here. It would be 36. Yes. And then in the next step, what I'll be doing, 7 plus 28 plus 9. 28 plus 9 would be 28 plus 9 would be 17, 37. 37 plus 3 would be 40. So it becomes a 0. So I'm just sorry, it becomes a 0. So now this is the answer. So 160643. So this is what I'm trying to tell you is you need to be very careful when you are doing the multiplication of multiple numbers and adding them. So even if you miss a single digit, so as I have done it here, Even if I miss a single digit, it becomes a complete messy and you may tend up to give a wrong answer, right? So let me give you one more last example so that it becomes more clear. Right, let us do one more example. So if I have, let me say, if I have 423 multiplied by 128, right? So if I have this example, so first what we'll do, 8 times 3. So let me just write this order. We'll be cross multiplying and then we'll be multiplying all the 3 and again a cross multiplication and again this way. So let me first say 8 times 3 is 24. I'll take a 4 over here and 2 is a carry forward. Let me say I'll keep it over here. Okay, in the next step, I'll be doing this through cross multiplication. 8 times 2 is 16 and 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 16 is 22 plus 2 is the carry forward, which becomes 24. So I'll again take a 4 over here and 2 would be the carry forward. Yes, so in the next step, what I'll be doing? In the next step, what I'm doing is I'll be multiplying all these 3. So 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 2 is 4 and 8 times 3 is 30. Sorry, 8 times 4 is 32. 6 plus 3 is 7 and 37. 37 plus 2, it gives me 39. So let me write a 9 over here. Yes, am I right? Or let us check it once again. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 2 is 4 and 8 times 4 is 32. So 6 plus 3 is 9. So yeah, it's 9 and 3. So 39 plus 2 would give me what? It would be 41. So let me write a 1 over here and let me take a 4 as a carry forward. Right? And then in the next step, what I'll be doing? I will be multiplying these 2 digits, the 2 numbers from here. Yes, so 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 2, it's 10. And 10 plus 4 gives you 14. So 4 over here and 1 as a carry forward. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5, which gives you 54,144. Yes, yeah, I think it sounds a little difficult, but yes, again, this comes with practice. So now, practice time. Here are a few questions for your practice. So let me say if I have 600, first question is 628 times 242. Second one is 236 times 423. And the third question would be 458 times 326.